I haven't been doing any proper vlogging this month, so this is just a really quick update for all the things that I've been doing. I've been making so many fun things. I got to do a nice cat commission. And here's one of the things that I painted this month. I called it Where Are You Taking Me? And it's sort of inspired by this visual idea of feelings being something that we carry with us. In one hand, he has a tote bag full of ghosts that haunt him. In the other hand, he's got a bag of things that inspire him and bring him comfort. Got a print restock, and I did something I normally wouldn't do, is try 3 new ones. So I'm gonna run out of some that I like. So I'm trying Trapper Rusty's Cabin. Cute. Kind of came out a bit more blue than I'd like. I wanted to try this one just because I really like this one. It makes me think of summer, like popsicles. It looks like a raspberry popsicle, this color. It's called Fix You, asking and accepting help. And then I got the Empress just because I super loved it. I love the blueberries. I love how the bird and little hat turned out. I love this little spray of flowers down here. It's more of an in-person kind of venture, and I've got like some craft fairs coming up, so I'd like to have them. Have something new. Into a little ball. Morning as I squat. Horrible news. The store that first introduced me to my favorite paper, the Bauhaus paper, they're discontinuing my paper and they had it on clearance. So I got 10 sheets of this. And to add insult to injury, I didn't even get a discount price for it. But yeah, I guess I've got paper for a while. And I've been making so many things recently. I just love it so much. I love the texture of it so much. And I love that I can easily see which side is the side I'm supposed to paint on. On a lighter note, I get to work a shift at the pop-up art gallery. It means I'm going to prepare something to paint while I'm there, and something that I've been excited about painting for a few weeks now. I don't know if you were here for the frog protest in the sketchbook. I really liked his little look. So here he is, like in a space, a wet sponge for a bed, and there's a quilt because I also have this old sketch is a sticker that I never finished. He's got some of my glowing ground cherry lamps, maybe a thimble, trash can, because we always need a trash can. Maybe this is like the counter to the hummingbird one, where the hummingbird is this successful travel vlogger, and this will be like his counterpoint, the teenager who's kind of depressed and can't actually like get anything done. You know, me. And then I did another one because I liked the top angle better. So here's my little art studio for the day. I originally imagined my setups to have an easel out, to be sort of like an in-your-face artist as people would come in. But they had this table set up in the middle, and that's like my comfort zone is working on tables, so I kind of went with that. So it felt a little bit less like an artist studio and more of a going to a cafe with a friend and drawing there. I was really excited to paint this quilt, and I thought that it was just a quirky decorative element that I was excited about. But it wasn't until after that it kind of reminded me of a pink quilt that I used to have when I was much younger. That one, in each square, it had an embroidered ballerina. And I remember when I was a child, I would sit on my bed and pass time or like calm myself by examining all the different patterns and making a decision each day of which ballerina would be my favorite. Which is something that I still love doing. I love picking favorites out of things. So I feel like that gave me an extra appreciation for this frog painting, because I like to think this frog is doing the same thing. He's having kind of a rough day, and now he's on his bed looking at all the different fish on the quilt and making a decision that day of which one was going to be his favorite. And you can see that it's a sunny day outside. I've got a sunbeam coming in. So I'd like to think that Sad Frog is gathering just enough energy to kind of like pick up around the house a little bit and then go outside in the sun. I honestly didn't think that there would be any visitors because it's middle of the day on a Thursday, a pop-up space that I didn't even know was there before. Also, it was pouring rain that day. And it was at the very end of the show, so anyone who would be visiting it would have seen it already. But we had almost 30 people walk in randomly. So that was actually pretty fun. It sounds kind of nerve-wracking, but it's okay, especially since there's so many different pieces. You can really love on other people's art with other visitors and just really kind of get into it. There was no theme to the show, which is why I wanted to re-show off some of my wild satellite pieces, which is part of the reason why I felt motivated to make so much this month. As some of these little shows start popping up, I started kind of running out of things to share or to submit to shows, because so many of them have been shown already in public. A lot of them are older than 2 years. I feel like I make more art than that. Or maybe I just have too many older pieces that aren't getting very much love or exposure right now. I felt like doing this event where I'm painting in a room with very few people in it, with visitors that kind of come in little tiny batches. I think I do a lot better with that than I did at the artist reception. In fact, for this one, it was pretty crowded because there's a lot of artists, and I had to go alone, and there wasn't anyone else there that I knew other than maybe the staff. So what I normally do is I putter around, maybe eat a snack, and try to look engaged for an hour, and then that's kind of my maximum amount of time that I can spend in a room full of strangers without very much direction. You know what I mean? I think there was one person introduced my art to, and that piece that I pointed out ended up being sold during the show, which I don't think was a coincidence, and it was of no help by me. But I do remember kind of leaving that day feeling like a total failure because I could not be aggressively social enough to actually start conversations with strangers.